Welcome back to Creating Dementia Solutions. Richard Pyatt here. Happy you found us. We're a Miles for Memories program. You might be seeing us on Access Vision or hearing us on a podcast, maybe on YouTube. That's okay. We're glad you're finding us wherever you are. This is an informational program, and we've been spending 2025 talking about the Lancet Commission list of factors over which we have some control that can help mitigate our risk of dementia. One of them is controlling diabetes. And T.R. Shaw is here today, an author, a veteran, community volunteer. This list could go on for the whole show, T.R. A trustee with the Cereal City Sunrise Rotary and a trustee for Rotary International, which has established an action group studying diabetes. Hi, T.R. Thank you for being here today.
Glad to be here.
This is really interesting. So talk about why Rotary has zeroed in on diabetes.
Good. Rotary, as you may know, is the world's largest service club. We have 1.4 million members around the world, about 46,000 clubs. And for at least the last 60 to 70 years, our big cause has been polio.
Yes.
We've done a remarkable job with that. We've almost eradicated it. And I said it was a distribution problem when they invented the vaccine at the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Back in the 1950s, it was a distribution problem. So Rotary did for last 50 or 60 years, has gone around the world, done World Immunization Days and immunized children and people around the world to the point where it's probably down to only a few dozen cases left in the world now. So we've almost eradicated it. But it was one of those things that we've been focused on for a long time. But as we get closer to that, what the Rotary Action Group is attempting to do is, one, just to educate Rotarians around the world and around our areas on diabetes, because it's now the fastest growing health threat that we have right now. And you see the TV ads and the medicines and the things that are coming out on it. There's a huge awareness of it right now, and it's really affecting the next generation. The generation coming up is going to be dealing with it in record numbers. There's a lot of factors for that, a lot of reasons why, but what we're trying to do is raise the awareness in Rotary and hopefully someday have it recognized as one of Rotary's major projects like polio.
I see.
I think that's what we'd like to do. We just aren't there yet because it's one of those things where you got to really convince people that it is an issue, and I think more people are understanding that it is, because there's at least 6,000 people a day diagnosed in the United States.
6,000 a day?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Well, this makes complete sense. Certainly, I've been familiar with the polio mission from Rotary. So, you know, what you'd like to do, you don't hear about it so much, but what you really would like to do is put yourself out of business in some of these areas, so to speak. And that is to say, well, you take on a project like polio and you say, boy, you know, would it be nice to not have to worry about it anymore, and we're almost there. So this is really saying, what else can we do?
That's correct. Our job, the Rotary Action Group, when it was established, has 5 areas of focus that we work on. First of all, awareness, and that's I guess I want to say it's the easy part, maybe, because right now, I mean, it's red hot with TV ads. The drugs are coming out, and its connection to weight loss too. So we're seeing there's a huge awareness now of what diabetes is. The next area is prevention. We want to do things to help people prevent it, which comes with awareness. It does help prevent it. And then those that have it, treatment. There are some people that can't afford their test strips, can't afford the CGM, the continuous glucose monitors, or even the medication. Insulin itself is can be pricey, which is, I'm not sure why, because insulin is one of the oldest medicines. It's as old as aspirin, and it shouldn't be cost as much as it does. Management, helping people finding the correct, getting hooked up with the right things. We have a weekly diabetes discussion group that we do that's put on with a few Rotarians. It's through the University of Michigan, but one is a Rotarian that runs it. And then finally, in the last place, those who have had it and have complications, who have lost limbs, to help people that might need prosthetics, might need equipment, might need special needs, whether it's building a ramp, if they're wheelchair bound, or have lost limbs or lost feet, neuropathy, things like that. So those are the five, kind of the order of the awareness we're trying to do.
So, don't make me sing that Jardian song, number one.
No.
But this is part of the awareness, isn't
Right.
it? These drugs create buzz, don't they? And
Right.
by extension, they create awareness. So you think about Jardians, you think about Ozempic, and these things that have gotten a lot of attention.
Correct.
I suppose they're helpful, right? But they also are helping you do your job.
Yeah.
People are becoming more aware of it.
The marketing of these things and just the awareness is out there now. And people, says I'm not a medical expert, so any questions you have should be addressed to your doctor and your medical professional. But there is some great things on the market right now. And then the other good thing that they've discovered is that these things like Ozempic and Mounjaro, it's called a GLP-1, which is a glucagon-like protagonist. And that's what it means. But that is what they do is they send from your stomach to send a signal to your brain that you're full. And it reduces hunger, it reduces the need to eat more. And that's it's kind of the chemically way of suppressing hunger is what they are. And that's why they're putting so much of. In fact, they have now Zepbound, which is the exact same thing as Mounjaro, and Wegovy is the same thing as
Sure. Well, you rattle off these names, and you see these commercials all the time. And that signal, of course, that you're full helps reduce the amount of sugar you're putting in your system just overall.
Yep. So that's been kind of a great thing for a lot of people. I mean, some of the celebrities you've seen that have lost a lot of weight. I mean, you think of some of those people, and it's just, and that's kind of where it came from, and they were going to do that. But it is expensive, and we're still struggling in the arena of insurance because insurance may or may not cover some of these things. And I think it's catching up. I mean, some insurance plans don't cover monitors, which you should. They're considered durable medical equipment, and sometimes they've got to have a medical necessity. And for a lot of people, unless you're on insulin, your insurance company probably won't pay for one like the Libre 3 or the Dexcom, that are just absolutely phenomenal for keeping track. And I mean, it's just knowledge is power in this. So
if you've known someone with diabetes, or maybe you're aware that the most common way to monitor the glucose in your system was to poke your finger and analyze a drop of your blood. These monitoring systems are connected to your phone, and they're on your body, and at any moment in time you can know what your glucose level is. No poking necessary.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, that's great. So people are afraid of doing that, and and it was painful, and you stick in your fingers, and that's just, I think, one of the greatest things that's ever come along is these monitors. You can just look at your phone and
you just
know exactly where you're at,
and you get alerted when you're on either end of the extreme.
And the good thing about those is even you eat something and you can see what it does to you. So, well, I'm not going to do that again.
That's right.
And you can, so it helps you manage what you do too, by knowing what spikes you or what drives it down.
Very true.
So it's a knowledge thing, and it's just. I mean, we're living in a time when there's new things coming out all the time, and it's just it's a kind of an exciting time because
it is.
The management side of it has gotten really a lot more convenient, a lot easier to do. So,
well, it's tremendous that Rotary has taken this on, or is in the process of it, as a focus. You talked about that discussion group.
Right.
What do they hope to focus on in those groups and over time?
Well, the weekly discussion group we have, like I said, it's led by a couple of Rotarians, but it's made up of people from around the world. Not all Rotarians, but anybody's welcome to join it. In fact, I can give you the link to it if you'd like.
Sure.
We get together and we discuss issues. Like, there's a lot of things that come up, and we talk about. We don't give medical advice. That's one of the things we're very cautious about because we could be get in trouble for doing that. But there's all kinds of like articles that come out. We talk about an article and what this is and what people, whether it's Remember we talked about cinnamon was like one night about
heard
like
that.
whether or not that does anything for you, and we pulled up articles and we talked about that, and it's just we get into some of these discussions and we talked about like these sensors and what kind of luck people have had with this or that or some of the problems they've had, and some people that didn't stick, they didn't stay on, things like that, and just like so we get into issues like that and more of the practical side of that, and then. So if somebody was newly diagnosed, it's a good place to come and learn without doing that and getting some focus on what you need to do.
Yeah. So how often then, I mean, I'm not asking for stats, but I mean, how often then would Rotary devote a program to diabetes that folks, its members, might attend?
Well, right now I've been going around and talking to clubs, and I'm at that stage where I'm just trying to get the awareness of it.
Yeah.
Every year, the month of November is World Diabetes Month, and November 14th is World Diabetes Day. And we had our first one last year at KCC, where we had an endocrinologist come in and talk. We did a screening session. We had other community members there that did something. So it was a great day. We want to build on it a little bit more, except November in the evening it's dark and it's hard for people to come out. So we're trying to do something more during the day next year, which was something we learned first time. But we had a great discussion. We had a few hundred people that came, and there's a doctor from Borges who's an endocrinologist who's just a world class. He's a researcher and he's done all kinds of things. And he came and talked, and it was just really enlightening. And a lot of these things too, if people are newly diagnosed, it's a little scary. So you got to know that there is some support out there. There's this and that. But then, and I always tell people, even if you're a little scared about it, it's we wear glasses, we have hearing aids, it's just something else you have to deal with, and it's not your fault you got it. You didn't, you go through that denial state. Oh, I did this to myself. No, it's either genetic, and quite frankly, in the foods we eat today, there's so many chemicals and there's so many things, and learn how to read labels and things like that about what you're consuming and what you're doing. But it's not always your fault. It's hereditary, it's chronic, it's environmental. So it's not, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, and like 1 in 3 will be touched by diabetes in the next 20 years of us.
1 in 3.
1 in 3 of us. That's the projection.
That's an incredible number.
Oh, it is. Right now, there's 800 million people worldwide with diabetes, and there's 38 million in the United States. Like I said, about 6,000 a day get diagnosed. So
the numbers are going up.
So it quadrupled in the world since 1990. So,
quadrupled since 1990.
And the incidence of that. And also, just another interesting fact is that now diabetes-related medical expenditures account for 1/3 of all medical. And it's not always, if you go in for a heart disease or kidney failure, it may be related to diabetes. So it's like diabetes is usually not a cause of death, but it's an underlying issue that causes something else normally. So that's kind of, the statistics get a little skewed, but the fact is that a lot of things we have, the illnesses we have, are directly related to diabetes.
Wow. So the case for Rotary to take on this as, I was inclined to say a passion project, but a focus like polio is clearly laid out, isn't it?
Right.
There's a lot involved in this, and there is plenty to talk about to try and educate people. But I appreciate what you said, that this is not something you should beat yourself up about.
Right.
And it can also be managed, and people are doing that. And that's the main thing.
And I said, knowledge is power. The more you know about it, the more you learn. You have to learn. Everybody's different in how they react to it. I mean, you can kind of, once you have a monitor, you can figure out what you can and can't eat. If you eat this and you go sky high, so don't do that again. Or you can, something you think might be bad for you, try, well, it doesn't spike me. So that's, so that, and it's like, so it's kind of a great diagnostic tool to really,
and be informed up to the minute, which is great about the technology. So if someone is inspired by this to join the Cereal City Sunrise Rotary,
we'd love to have you.
Welcome them with open arms, right?
Yeah, we're doing some good things. In fact, couple of things our club is doing is we're working with a local author. We're doing a children's book on diabetes, and we're hoping that once we get that out, that might be something that Rotary can pick up and purchase around the world for us. We're going to do in other languages and things like that. But it's really a nice little book about, because kids, we have kids that come to school now and have these monitors and these devices, and kids aren't kind of scared of what that's about and like that. So we've got some storybooks that we're going to put together and do that. We're also, as an international project, we're partnering with a club in Mexico right now. One of our members retired from Kellogg, worked in Mexico and was close to a Rotary Club down there. So we partnered with a Mexican Rotary Club, and we're going to do an international diabetes project in Mexico. That's just our club doing that. We're trying to do that a little bit more with other clubs in the district, but it's slow to build. But our club is kind of the pioneer in this, if you want to say.
Well, how about that? Right here in the Cereal City.
Right.
Well, congratulations on all of that.
Thank you.
It's really interesting to hear how you focused on this, and we'll have to update that soon and hear how that's coming
I
along.
would love to keep you in the loop here.
We will put the link to Cereal City Sunrise Rotary in the show notes for this episode. If you happen to be following us on a podcast, it'll be there. And TR is going to come back and talk with us a little bit about what we know about dementia and diabetes in our next episode. So we hope you'll click on that one as well, or watch it here on Access Vision. We also recommend that you click the like button on the Miles for Memories Facebook page so you're alerted when these episodes come available. And you can have a look at the Miles for Memories website for details on technology that's incredible. Speaking of technology, which we talked about with Sherry Sherbin not long ago. So check out those episodes as well and follow us, and we'll be back with more on Creating Dementia Solutions. Thanks for joining us.